Bonjour et bienvenue Cafe Biomax. Hello and welcome to Mike's Organic Cafe. Apple turnovers. Oui délicieux. But we're going to use organic ingredients to make them much more nutritious and not just empty calories. Ingredients are, for the turnovers, 1 kilo apples of choice. I'm using Granny Smith, I like the sourness. 3 tablespoons unsalted butter, a quarter cup erythritol white or brown sugar substitute, 3 tablespoons monk fruit icing sugar substitute, 1 tablespoon fresh lemon juice, 1 tablespoon ground cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon sea salt or just a pinch, and puff pastry. If you have spares in the freezer, let them thaw on the bench or make more by watching my other video. For the egg wash, 1 large whole egg, 1 tablespoon milk, 1 pinch sea salt, and 3 tablespoons monk fruit icing sugar substitute for dusting. For the glaze, 3/4 of a cup monk fruit icing sugar substitute and 1 tablespoon of milk. I have leftover chopped baking bits and almond flakes from the last cook, so I'll also add them to the garnish. Step 1. Grab the puff pastry, leave it on the bench to thaw, otherwise make a fresh batch like mine. Step 2. You're meant to peel and core the apples, but I'll leave the skin on mine. To me, the sour skin tastes nice. Then, cut the flesh into small cubes. Step 3. Melt the butter in a large skillet over a medium heat. Once it starts to bubble, add the diced apples and cook until they start to soften, about 5 minutes. I put the lid on mine so the steam makes them soften quicker. Step 4. Add the erythritol, monk fruit sweetener, lemon juice, cinnamon and sea salt and stir to coat. Reduce the heat to medium-low and continue to cook until most of the juices have reduced and the apples are caramelized. Another 5 minutes. It smells heavenly. Step 5. Remove the skillet from the heat, transfer the apples to a bowl and let cool to room temperature. Once cool, transfer to the fridge to chill, about 15 minutes. Step 6. While the apples chill, use a rolling pin to roll out 1 sheet of puff pastry into a 12 by 12 inch or 30 by 30 centimeter square, about 1/8 of an inch or 3 to 4 millimeters thick. Mine is made fresh, so I thought about it and decided to make mine bigger portions. So instead of the individual size of the recipe yielding tiny apple turnovers, I roughly measured mine to put 2 pastries of similar size on top of each other. That way I get a larger dessert and I'm satiated, but you can follow the steps as you like. Step 7. Line 2 large rimmed baking trays with baking paper and set aside, or 1 large one putting baking paper, then cut the pastries to fill, then another sheet of baking paper on top, and so on until you run out of pastries. Then place in the fridge next to the apple filling. Now make the egg wash. Step 1. Make the egg wash by whisking together the whole egg, milk and sea salt with a fork and set aside. Now we can assemble and bake the apple turnovers. Step 1. First, position a rack in the center of the oven and heat it to 400 Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. Step 2. Remove the first tray of puff pastry squares and the apple filling from the fridge. Prepare the second batch depending on how large your oven is and how many it can fit. Step 3. Rotate each square 90 degrees so it now looks like a diamond. Brush some egg wash on the lower 2 edges of each diamond with a pastry brush. Note, if you're like me and want larger portions, put egg wash all around the diamond edges. Then fill with triple the apple's filling. Then place a second diamond on top and press the edges with a fork. Step 4. If you're doing it the conventional recipe way, place 2 to 3 tablespoons of filling into each turnover. Fold the top of the pastry over the filling and push down to seal. Crimp the edges with a fork to finish. Repeat with the remaining puff pastry squares until finished. I'll show you one, then speed up. Step 5. Brush the tops of all the turnovers with egg wash, then go over it a second time to make sure it's all coated. Step 6. Pierce a few holes in the tops with a fork or paring knife to allow the steam to escape. Step 7. Sprinkle each turnover with monk fruit icing sweetener and bake until they are deep golden brown, about 20 minutes. I accidentally skipped this step, but they still turned out fine. Make the glaze. Step 1. When done, take out of the oven and place on a cooling rack. I skipped the sweetener step, however, they're still hot, so I use a small can with a sieve top filled with monk fruit icing sugar to quickly rectify the misstep. Yes, the sweetener didn't dissolve completely, but it gives it a Christmassy touch. I still had these two to bake, so I rectified the problem by sprinkling with monk fruit sweetener before putting them in the oven. They're so beautiful, you can see the layers of puff pastry cooked to perfection. Step 2. Whisk together the monk fruit sweetener and milk until thick and smooth using a hand whisk or egg beater. You may need another tablespoon of milk like me. Allow the turnovers to cool until barely warm and drizzle the glaze back and forth across each pastry with a spoon. Here are the turnovers with sweetener in the oven. They turned out more glazed. Enjoy it with a fresh cafe or after a long fast, after a high protein dinner, or add collagen protein to the glaze and enjoy post workout. Be seeing you. Au revoir.